Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Couldn't help it. That was too funny. There was so many things I could tell you that we did. I was not a bad kid, but I was a devious kid. I was always getting into trouble, but not getting caught because I was smarter than those who were trying to catch me. And I don't know why it was that way, but the way it was. Um, I can't say that I ever believed in any religion, but I still attended at the end of a whip and made sure I went to all the meetings so that I got duty to God award and attendance award. And I was always 100%er all the way in church. But I didn't do it because I thought it was the thing to do. I did it because my mother and dad wanted me to. Um,
What was your mother like?
my mother was a very, very strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was a lot like, I guess she's about like you and Emily in that way. But she was the leader of the family. She was the one that did everything. In fact, we had a chance on a ranch with 160 acres in Wyoming that Dad had been told about by Jim J. McFarland. And Mom refused to go. She refused to leave Hooper. She refused to go anywhere that was not close to Hooper because she thought that she belonged with her family. And we missed a chance on the greatest farm that ever was in Laramie, not in Laramie, it doesn't matter where, but it was in the Wyoming area. And I remember my dad and I went in the car, drove all the way up there to see it and to be there. And it was just wonderful. Dad was thrilled as he could be, but Mom said no. So, but she was head of school lunch for Weber County.
How did she do the school lunch and work on the farm?
Well, she did. That was both. Early in the beginning, when we moved to the farm in Far West, she did not work. But Grace Hunter, who was head of school lunch then at that school, asked her to come and work for her. And then Grace got promoted to the county, and she brought Mom as the head school lunch lady at the school. And then Grace Hunter retired, and my mom became head of school lunch for Weber County.
So explain to people how big of a deal that is, because that's a pretty big deal.
It's like all of the county, all of the high schools in the county. She would go visit and teach them to do different things, but mainly she managed the money and took care of business for all of those schools.
Was she like ordering the food and like
Well,
overseeing?
all of the food was ordered
Yeah.
for each school. She was in charge of that, making sure that all of the stuff got sent to the right places. But the superintendent of schools was her pal, and they did a lot of stuff together. But by that time, the farm wasn't doing very well. It wasn't doing well enough to pay for itself. So Dad went to work for Irvin Higley, and left the farm running to the kids. And that's when we all decided that we're going to go away to school, so we didn't have to work on the farm.
So you tell everybody who the brothers were.
Okay, Dave was the oldest, and he was 3 years older than me. And then Bob was next in line, and he's 2 years younger. And then Eddie was born after the war.
Okay.
And when Dad came home from the war, then Eddie was born in 1947.
Oh.
And in 1949, Blaine was born. And Blaine was just a baby when we moved to Far West. I remember we didn't have a bathroom in the house at that time. You used to take a bath in a tub in the kitchen. But eventually they put a bathroom in, and there was a pump in the bathroom that pumped the water from the well to through the kitchen coal stove to get it hot, and then that pipe would come into the bathtub to get water hot to
Wow.
take a bath. Anyway, that pump was going on and off all the time because it was pumping water. And Mom and I and Dave and Blaine, excuse me, not Eddie, Bob, were all in the field hoeing sugar beets. And Eddie came running to grab us, and he said, "Blaine's got his finger caught in the pump," and Blaine had his finger caught in the belt that makes the pump run, and he couldn't get it out, and the pump was still going. He had his finger in there; it was almost got it off, and so had to rush him to the hospital and get it fixed.
Did it get cut?
Yeah.
He had to have it sewn back on?
Uh-huh.
Little tiny kid?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
He was only like 2. But, you know, the little kids mess with
Yeah.
machinery in the bathroom. And after that, they covered up the pump
Right.
so they couldn't get his finger caught in it.
Tell us the story about your mom that you told me about the people who were wanting to fight.
Yeah. I had a reputation for being a tough guy.
Uh-huh.
And had been lots of fights. And there was a kid named Groberg that I had thrown off the porch of the church one day and told him I'd beat the shit out of him if he didn't quit screwing with me. The next day, he and 5 of his leather jacketed buddies who fashioned themselves as being tough guys. They were the toughest guys in the school. And I was damn good because I was a wrestler and I was a boxer.
And you were a farmer.
And I was a farmer.
You could haul some bales of hay.
Anyway, these 5 kids showed up in the car. There was a convertible, and they were sitting on the edge of the convertible. And this Lynn Grover came and knocked on the door. And I was in bed because I'd been to the chiropractor because it hurt my back hauling hay. And I was in the house in bed. They came to the door, and this kid said to my mother, "Is your son of a bitch son home? We were going to beat the shit out of him." And I heard him. And I went out there and I said, who's first? I'll take you first. Come on, asshole. And he started trying to bunch me, and I took him down because I was a wrestler. I knew how to take him down fast. And then I just punched the shit out of his face. And in fact, I cut him so bad on his face that it was right at his hairline. It looked like his hair was coming off. And the rest of the crew jumped off the pickup or the car and thought they could help out. And Mom came out with a rake, and she said, "Don't you dare get out of that car, you little bastards." So she didn't. They came and they picked up the kid that was supposed to be the toughest one and put him back in the car and left. When Dave came home, I don't know where David been that day, but Dave came home and he said, "Let's go." And so that night we went to Ogden. Dave and I and Warren Cook, his pal, went to Ogden to try to find him. And we were going to beat the shit out of all of them.
Oh my God.
We never found them, luckily for them, because we would have. One time, that same kid, during registration for high school, took Bob to the high school to register him that night. And I'd already registered the night before. And so the sophomore class was registering, and that kid happened to be in the sophomore class. And he saw me. He came up to me and said, "Okay, you son of a bitch, I'm going to nail you." Before he could say another word, I hit him, knocked him down.
In the school?
In the
Right
school.
there?
Yeah, in the school.
Did you get in trouble?
No, I didn't. I just, cause no one knew I did it.
Right.
Knocked him down and he was gone. And I was gone.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember his name. It was Nebeker was his last name, but I can't remember his first name. I think it was Bill, maybe Bill Nebeker. And he was a no account, you know, just a no account. There's always one in every school. And they thought they could take me on, you know, they're stupid. I mean, David and I used to box in the barn,
Wow.
and not face punches, but body punches.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it over and over and over, so I knew exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of farm kids learn how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a guy named Reed Fielding took on the same leather jacketed goon in the parking lot of a McDonald's restaurant, 15-cent hamburgers, and the guy had no chance.
Yeah.
The Reed Fielding just took him out so quickly. Reed was on the wrestling team, and he went to state the same year I went to state on the wrestling team. It was great times.
Okay.